Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my username is Pagan Beauty, and I do gameplay for Elder Scrolls Online on PC. And let's see, I also do subscription box unboxings, and that's on a different channel, and you can go look at that if you're into makeup and skincare. But for this channel, what I'm currently doing is I'm recording the dungeons that I go through. And so today we are going to do City of Ash, and it looks like it's pretty active today, so it shouldn't take too long for us to get in. So we're going to go ahead and join, and immediately. It's one of the perks about being a healer. So as soon as we get our tank and our DPS in, the reason that I'm doing these dungeons is because I want to do veteran level dungeons, and you need to learn the mechanics for the dungeon before you run veteran level dungeons. So I'm just going through and I'm recording them all. Disclaimer, I am not an elitist, I am not perfect. I play a healer because it's the fastest queue time. I am in no way a healer elitist. I would like to be. I just don't have the time to put into learning the character. But at this point, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to memorize them so that whenever I go into the veteran level dungeons, I don't immediately get booted. I always forget to bring out my little dude. Now, this dungeon, apparently a Daedric portal opened up in a dark elf area, Bosmer. And we are trying to save some dude's wife. I looked up the bosses before I ran it, just to see if there was anything special. You gotta love the houses made out of trees.
Got to keep moving.
I generally played as a DPS before I started playing this, or before I started doing the healer, and it's hard for me to break out of the DPS mode, and so I'm constantly wanting to attack. The cool thing about this healer is that she's called a surge healer, and so she can actually switch over and turn into a lightning mage, and it doesn't really bring down her healing at all. There's an entire walkthrough on what spells you need, and let's see how I can just pop over, and all of a sudden I've got a nice little amount of things that will help my people. The only problem though is if you're new to healing and you're used to being a DPS, sometimes you forget that you're supposed to be healing. And so I will just be attacking along and not realize that half of my team is dead, or almost dead. Honestly, I haven't done that bad at being a healer. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it is. As long as everybody kind of stays together and I can see everybody, I haven't had any serious issues. Oh, did I lag? I lagged. There we go. I like the little tombstone effect that whoever that is has. Probably should have switched over and done my lightning ultimate. This ultimate, it creates a bubble around wherever I put it, and it stuns most lower enemies, and then it negates a whole bunch of effects from two of the people in my group. So it kind of cleanses them while negating all of the lower enemies. Doesn't really have a lot of effect on the bigger enemies though. And so generally what I'll do is I'll switch over to my lightning and I'll drop my lightning equinox. So that was the first little boss. You notice that he had like a fire blast that he did in front of him, like a torch effect. It's his main attack. Yay, chess. I'm currently trying to get this character up on her lockpicking, because if you max out your lockpicking, you can do force lock. And in these dungeons, whenever it's important to do this really quickly, force lock can I mean, it can keep you caught up with your group if they decide that they don't want to open a chest. Now, it's very rare that a group will see you comment chest in the group chat and not come back and get it, just because chests and like these things, you'll get stuff out of these inside of a dungeon that you wouldn't normally get inside in the regular world, and a lot of recipes and materials and stuff like that that are less common. And the thing is, oh, where'd my people go? I guess our tank is pulling everybody along. I was about to say, the person's not gonna move. Sometimes the tank will just kind of pull a whole bunch of trash into one area, which is perfectly fine. The only issue is whenever you get a enemy that's not going to follow the tank, depending on his ag or his aggression and how much he can taunt. And our tank it looks like he's level 22, so he's still pretty low on his abilities. Now, the thing, ESO, if you notice that I'm playing with level 22s and such, and I do believe at this point level 911. The ESO did a leveling. There's a certain word for it. I can't remember what it's called, but they made it to where we can all play together as if the others were not there. So I still gain the same amount of experience, get the same loot that I would get if I was playing with level or veteran level people of my own abilities. The only difference is that people who are lower level don't have all the champion points, and they don't have all the perks and stuff that you can get from being veteran level. See, everybody gets a little stunned, nobody moves around. It's kind of a waste of my ultimate because we don't really need it, but it just makes stuff easier, and I build up my ultimate really fast. Because really, whenever I'm on my healing mode, the only thing that I have that is really attack is my heavy attack. Like this is another boss. We're gonna kill him real fast. Thing is whenever you've got good DPS in these dungeons, you won't even make it to the mechanics, because the DPS is so heavy that it just wipes out the boss before you get a chance to get to the mechanics. And I'm never complaining about that. I always try to post if I see it, but like I said, they don't always. Like a heavy sack, it's important to me for materials wise, but it's never going to give you like armor and stuff like that, and that's what most people want. This guy has a heavy attack where he jumps up to you and attacks you. All you gotta do is block. You'd be amazed that even my squishy self with my little healer, that what I can take with just a block. Now I can't block generally more than once. Over, Acronaut, add a little bit of lightning to the thing. Nope. And back to healing. That is one good thing about being a surge healer or any other setup to which you play two different roles. Is most of those things have they lay over, so I can switch back and forth, and the effects of my attacks don't go away. The only thing, though, oh, that scared me. Damn, darn, sorry. I'm gonna have to go through and edit that out. The thing is, I totally could have healed myself on that first little drop. A lot of people who've been running these dungeons a lot will know little shortcuts like that, where you just jump off the side. And half the time I like them, half the time I don't. Because I'm a completionist, so I want to go through the entire dungeon. I'm not a real big fan of cutting corners, and I'm also this type that if you let me, I will go and break every box, the box breakers, and I will go through and search out and find all the chests and check every bag. And I'm such a hoarder, which is why I have to be a premium player, because they give you the crafting bag, which is unlimited, and it is so worth it. So worth it. The amount of money that I spent on just my bag space before they gave that to us is tremendous. I've been playing this game since it was in closed beta. I played World of Warcraft before I played this game, and it was just like a natural, because but it was just a natural switch, just because I love Skyrim and Oblivion so much. I even played a little bit of the Morrowind game from way back in the day, and just I knew I would love it. And I've stayed through all of the ups and downs that ESO has gone through. Like, I remember whenever there was no group, walk into an explosion. But I remember when there was no group finder. I remember when we had to hang out outside of the door to the few dungeons that were available and just hope that you could find somebody a full crew. And then there was just the hope that they actually could do what their situation was. Because ESO is the type of game where you can, oh my goodness, where you can play any class, and they will just let you. You can be a healer and walk around with an Inferno staff or a sword, and they're not going to stop you. You're not going to do good, but they're not going to stop you. I should have bet. Oh, I didn't glitch. He glitched. So whenever people go offline, don't immediately go to boot them. A lot of time they've lagged, or even worse, got stuck in a rock. And that happens so often. Just getting stuck and then you can't get out. You can do stuff like / stuck and so on, and that sometimes will help you. You can wayshire to the nearest wayshire, which is usually the opening of the dungeon. but every once in a while somebody will just get stuck and have to completely and totally exit out of the game and relog back in. So give them time. Oh, it's the Daedric portal. Kind of makes me miss Oblivion. Oh, I just ran right into him. I don't think this is the final boss, because what I read was that it's a whole bunch of platforms. So I definitely see that fire X in the ground. And he's calling people. Kind of makes me wonder whether being in the water helps or hurts. 'Cause I'm on fire and the water didn't cut me out. Neither did my little protection circle. We almost got him anyway.
Stop it before it's too late.
I know that it's easy to go after the ads, and generally you should, but if you've got enough DPS, you can just assault the boss over and over and over again, and the ads won't do anything. If you've got a good enough healer, and your DPS is good, and your tank's decent, generally it's better to just focus on the boss and ignore the the add-ons. Oh, that was the end of it. I guess the City of Ash 2 that continues on. So we did not even make it inside the Oblivion Gates. How sad. Just fought the people invading. But it was a nice quick dungeon. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my next one. So I will see you guys at the next video. And like and subscribe, and let me know if there's any content that you specifically want to see, or if you want to join me in gaming. I'm always looking for new players. I play in the North American server on PC, so just let me know and I will definitely add you on. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.